Hey guys, so how do you start to get calm around needing the toilet in public or wherever you may be? Well, we've spoken a little bit in previous videos about not judging the sensations that arise in your body, and that's a big part of it. A lot of it's to do with how you react to what is happening in your body. So we want to start to respond consciously. The first step is to first be aware of even the possibility of responding in a different way other than anxiety, because how we usually react is with anxiety. We get tunnel vision, and then that's all we can think about then. All we can think about is what's going to happen. Will I be able to pee? Will there be people in the toilet? And it's the complete opposite of relaxation and calm, which is what we want to bring about, so that we can be relaxed enough for urination to happen naturally. So one thing I've become aware of, and I wasn't aware of that's what I was doing. I'd been doing this, but I didn't know that that's what I was doing. I was transforming my anxiety into excitement. At first, you may think that that's not even possible. How do you switch anxiety into excitement? It can be done, and it's easier to get from anxiety to excitement than it is from anxiety to calm. Anxiety and excitement, they're both the same physiological state for the body. They both involve the secretion of adrenaline by the adrenal glands. So in both states, the body is in what's called the aroused state. And because they're so similar, it's easier for the mind to jump from anxiety to excitement than it is from anxiety to calm. And when you can get to a place of excitement, you eliminate the fear around what's going to happen. Because paruresis is all about the fear of not being able to urinate. So it's the fear of a future event. And if you're in a place of excitement, you can ride the wave of fear and uncertainty rather than being tossed around by it. So what I'm going to share with you is a way to go with the feeling. The feeling being that aroused state, adrenaline in the blood, and your heart rate increasing and your thoughts beginning to race. So it's how you deal with the initial onset of being in that heightened state. So the first step is to know that it's even possible. The second step is to begin the practice of, as we said in the last videos, the practice of not judging those sensations, allowing yourself to feel the anxiety, not judging it, not trying to push it down, not suppressing it, but to go as far as to even embrace it and welcome it. So the inner dialogue that you have within yourself, this is how I went about doing it. Rather than me judging myself, saying I shouldn't feel this way, I should have it under control, I should be able to handle this now, rather than that kind of a dialogue, when the sensations showed up, the sensations of anxiety showed up, I'd say, hey, welcome. I've been expecting you. I thought you'd show up. So it's having that kind of a relationship with it, steals its thunder. If you make it wrong and you try and suppress it, you're strengthening it. So this is to embrace it, to go with the feeling and allow yourself to feel excited by the heightened state and to feel alive because of it. Because remember, if you're feeling uncomfortable, you're in the right place. That's where you want to be. You want to be pushing your comfort zones. So in that moment, focus on the fact that you're going to gain more out of whatever happens. Whether you pee or you don't pee, you're going to get more out of whatever happens than you would if you were keeping yourself safe and in your cocoon, in your comfort zone. So the attitude is, the excitement of being on the edge. I'm in the right place. People who have recovered from paruresis have walked this path. And I'm in the right place. I'm on track. And I'm going to gain something from this experience, whatever happens. Because walking the path to recovery is like walking a minefield. And the more you do the graduated exposure, the more you begin to see your own neurosis. You begin to see where the minefields are, where the trapdoors are. So that helps you when you're in that situation again. Now, even if anxiety to excitement is too much of a jump, you can move from anxiety to a state of suspense. What is suspense? Suspense is the state or quality of being undecided, uncertain, or doubtful. It's the pleasurable anticipation and excitement of a future outcome. Now, the suspense only becomes anxiety if we're attached to the outcome. And I'm going to get into that on future videos, but just briefly, to be attached to the outcome is to have a need for other people's acceptance and approval. And when you really drill it down, it's really a need to appear as though you have it all under control. It's the need to appear that you're an adequate human being, that you're adequate to face the challenges of life. So the more you can bring acceptance around your paruresis, the less attached you'll be to that outcome. Because remember, it's not about peeing, it's about breaking the avoidance pattern and pushing your comfort zone. So I remember a situation where I was giving a public talk. It was my first public speaking event, and in preparation for that talk I found a book about public speaking and dealing with anxiety, and the author described that when you're in that situation where you're facing the public and you've got all these eyes looking back at you, the brain can interpret that as a dangerous situation, as though you're prey and the people facing you are the predators. So your body responds with that aroused state. It's the fight or flight response. And you've got adrenaline in the body when you're in that state. And it can be shaky. I was on stage giving my talk. I was about 5 minutes into my talk and I noticed my hand shaking. When I talk, I like to use my hands to make a point. But instead of judging it, instead of thinking, oh, I'm losing it, I'm a weirdo, I'm weak, I'm embarrassed, rather than thinking that, internally, I thanked my brain. I thanked it because it's doing what it believes it needs to do to keep me safe. So I thanked it. I was aware that that's what was happening. It's like, this isn't me. It's just my brain responding this way to keep me safe. That opened up a bit of space around it. So I was able to laugh about it, and that brought about the relaxed calmness around it. There's a TV show right now here in the UK called The X Factor, and there's a contestant on that show. He gets really nervous. He's like shaking when he's holding the microphone, but he uses it in a positive way, and his voice is amazing. He channels his anxiety. And one of the judges was giving him some mentoring, and he let him know that, look, when you're going on stage, don't feel like it's not okay to have anxiety show up. So the more you can allow your own vulnerability, the more you can roll with it. And as I said, the more you can ride the wave of the experience, go with it, and it brings about a lightness, a lightheartedness around it. You don't get so much of a tunnel vision where the only thing you can think of is, will I be able to pee, won't I be able to pee, or the anxiety, judgmental thoughts. So this is the doorway that leads to a state of calmness. This knowledge of anxiety and excitement being linked is being used by the pickup community, and the teachers and gurus within the pickup community are helping guys with the phenomenon known as approach anxiety, and they're teaching them to reframe it as approach excitement. And I heard a guy talking about this, and he was remembering how when he approaches a stranger to strike up a conversation, when he approaches a woman that he finds attractive, his knees start to wobble, he gets a bubbling feeling in his stomach, and it immobilizes him. And another guy heard this, and his response was, the excitement. So you can experience it as excitement, that heightened state, that electricity that is flowing through your body. You can reframe it, and this is an NLP technique. It's being picked up and used in the field of neuro-linguistic programming. So it's not just tricking yourself into feeling excited. It's, as I said, not judging that feeling, going with it. Now, the more you do that, the more freedom you're going to have around it, the more at ease. It does take practice. It doesn't happen just by watching this video. You need to apply it, as I said previously. Be excited about applying this technique. And the more and more you do it, just like with anything, the more it becomes automatic. So rather than reacting with anxiety, the automatic response will be excitement. I'm in the right place. I'm going to learn about myself from this. Hope you got something from that. I'll catch you on the next video.